former House Oversight Committee chair and a Fox News contributor. Jason, it's great to see you. We do not know when Weiss will come before the House and potentially Senate Judiciary Committees, maybe the end of September, perhaps the beginning of October. But if you were still in Congress and you were on that committee, what questions would you want to ask Weiss?
Well, first thing you need, John, is you need to get the documents. I'm associated with the Heritage Foundation's Oversight Project. They issued a FOIA request. We know there are 2,500 pages of communication between David Weiss and the Department of Justice specific to this plea deal. Those documents need to be produced. Now, the Department of Justice will take the position that, hey, it's an ongoing case, we can't do that, but House rules do not recognize that. So they should go get those documents. It's only from those documents can you then press the U.S. attorney to explain himself, explain why did they treat this case so differently than previous cases? Why do they, treat Hunter Biden with such kid gloves? What were the prohibitions that David Weiss had in pursuing Hunter Biden's case outside the realm and geographical location of Delaware? There's a lot to ask him.
Would you want to know why the sweetheart deal, as many people have been calling it, was written the way it was, with the immunity clause in the gun diversion part of the deal, as opposed to in the misdemeanor pleas on the IRS charges? And would you also want to know what role, if any, the Attorney General Merrick Garland played in this deal?
Yeah, I would definitely want to know what the what the Attorney General knew and what was his participation. He says he's hands off, but I highly doubt it. There is no way with an explosive case like this that he was hands off. I highly doubt that. I want to know about the immunity deal. You know, I went through this under the Hillary Clinton case. 5 times the Department of Justice handed out immunity with no requisite that they have to participate and help the government. So why are you giving out immunity deals with no requirement to actually communicate and help the government? That's usually the trade that comes off of here. But yeah, why such a sweetheart deal? The gun charge. There is no U.S. attorney I've ever interacted with that has ever been on this network and others that can tell you that that is typical and how they've dealt with this. This was sweetheart deal for the Bidens.
I want to pivot to the Trump case because his attorneys have until 5 o'clock this afternoon to file an objection to a protective order that's being sought by Jack Smith. If allowed, that protective order would severely limit what Trump and his legal team could say about the evidence in the case. What do you think about the fact that Smith is trying to limit what they can say?
I mean, that is classic Department of Justice, isn't it? It's a First Amendment case, and they're going to try to gag the President of the United States, a candidate for the presidency of the United States, from being able to talk about his own defense and his own case. Don't tell me that the Department of Justice has been mum. They've been out there. Every member of Congress, everybody in the administration, Joe Biden, everybody's been out there talking about Donald Trump and how wrong he is. The guy gets to defend himself, and I would be shocked if they try to put a gag order on Donald Trump and his legal team, but it wouldn't surprise me. But boy, would that be fundamentally wrong in the United States of America.
Hey, real quick, Jason. We have folks on both sides. Some Democrats are asking for this. John Lauro, Trump's attorney, and other members of the Trump legal team are saying there should be cameras in the federal courthouse. They haven't been allowed for criminal proceedings in federal court. Should they be in this case?
No. It's enough of a clown show. I don't think the cameras in the courthouse. I like the prohibition on the cameras in federal court and at the Supreme Court, and I think they should stay in place.
All right. Well, probably highly unlikely that they would be allowed, but what a show it would be. We'll see what happens. Jason, thank you. Appreciate it. Sandra?
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.